draft position analysis, top 5 linebackers coming out this year in the draft. Again, this is something that's kind of been overshadowed by all the greatness on that D line and the fact that you can look at two of those guys, two of the top 3 guys could also potentially play edge. You know, we look at Will Anderson Jr., who's also listed as a linebacker, but also as an edge. You got Tyree Wilson, who's linebacker and edge, and then Nolan Smith with that 4.3 speed definitely can be put out at linebacker or edge. So, I mean, those 3 obviously are my top 3. Will Anderson, we know how high he's going to get picked. Everybody is feeling good about Tyree Wilson. I'm eager to go back and actually check some of those games because I've seen the combine, but I haven't seen him during the games. Nolan Smith, I've absolutely seen, and
we've seen lots of him.
Right,
and there's tape on him at linebacker too. That's the thing.
Exactly.
There's tape on him as a 4.3 stand-up backer.
And see, that's the thing. That speed, I didn't recognize it. But when you have everybody at that speed and on your defense, obviously not going to show up as much. But I didn't see it. And then once you started seeing it at the combine, and then you start looking back like, woo, this guy is running all over the place. So Nolan Smith, definitely 5-star prospect. For me, 4 and 5, Jack Campbell out of Iowa.
I love Jack Campbell.
I'm always a huge Iowa linebacker and O-lineman guy. Love what they got. I mean, he's dominant, skillful, highly successful in college. Love his size, 6'5", 249. He can run a 4.6. So I'm all about that. And then number 5 for me is Trenton Simpson out of Clemson, 6'2", 235, but that 4.4 speed. I mean, he's just impressive physique, 240. And with him, I'm eager to see again. He's one of those I want to see where he transitions to. But I'd be eager to potentially get Trenton Simpson if he were to come up later in the draft, seeing as Washington is in dire need of a linebacker that can move. So I want to see what's going on with him. What are your top 5 linebackers?
So what I did was I pushed Smith, Anderson, and Wilson to just edge. For this. So I did, or you can say I just did the top 5 after them.
Right.
So for me, my number 1 guy is Trenton Simpson. I love what he brings to these top 3, actually these top 5, I love what they all bring to the table. My number 2 is Drew Sanders. He's a guy you had in the edge list last week. He's a guy that could play edge rusher, outside linebacker. Even I feel comfortable putting him as that middle linebacker.
Ooh, okay.
Athletically, he's got enough to him that I think you could put him there and be okay. Probably a 3-4 inside linebacker. To me, Trenton Simpson's more of a 4-3 middle linebacker. Could play that outside backer as well. My number 3, but my actual favorite of the 3, or of all these linebackers, is Jack Campbell. I love what he brings to the table. He's nasty. He's physical. But he can do everything you want him to do. So I absolutely love what Campbell does. And he's another guy I would love Detroit to get. So please, I'll just start manifesting that now. Number 4 is Noah Sewell from Oregon, brother of Lions tackle Penei Sewell. He's a guy that coming into the season was the number 1 backer in this draft class, and then just he played solid, but everyone else played really well and just kind of took him over. So he'll go. These guys are all probably day 2. Probably round 2 for all 4 of these guys, honestly.
Does Sewell come to the Midwest? Does he come to Detroit with his brother?
I would love Campbell. I would love Sewell. I'd love any of these guys, honestly.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then number 5 for me is a guy that I actually think is extremely realistic to come to Detroit. Just they were all over him at the Senior Bowl, and just they've been linked to him since the beginning. Is Dian Henley from Washington? I believe Washington State.
Yeah.
He's a guy that started his college career as a wide receiver, transitioned to a safety, and then this last year they brought him in as a linebacker. So he's got that versatility. He's got the hands, the athleticism, all that. He's very good in coverage. And the reason I say for the Lions is because we desperately need a coverage linebacker.
Us too.
So Alex Anzalone got Anzalone got torched in coverage last year, but he's a very good run stuffing linebacker. So if you paired Henley with him and Rodriguez, I think that would be awesome. Henley's probably a round 3 guy. I love and all these 5 that I listed are very different. Like you got Henley, the coverage guy. Sanders is more the blitzer guy. Jack Campbell's your prototypical middle linebacker. Simpson's kind of a do-it-all guy. Like, it's just, there's so much variety in this linebacker class. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the only number I'd add to that, or only player I'd add to that, is Nick Herbig, out of Wisconsin, 6'2", 240, 4.6 speed. Man, he's massively productive in college. Will loves this guy and absolutely wants us to pick him up because So great pass rush numbers, but also can turn around and at least run the defense and potentially help out in the secondary, do stuff like that. So that's I'm all about that. But Noah Sewell, yes, all day. Drew Sanders, people forget, like, midway through the season, Drew Sanders was leading the country in sacks. You know what I mean? Like, Drew Sanders was doing big, and he even got overshadowed by Bumper Poole, who is another guy that was playing out there. You know what I mean? But Drew Sanders was killing it. But yeah, I'm on board with it. One name that I've heard a lot about, especially in the offseason, that has dipped, and I can't say I'm surprised that it's dipped, but coming into the offseason and especially the combine, everybody thought this guy was going to be the guy, and it's Andre Carter out of Army. 6'6", 256, kind of 4'9". He's got a massive wingspan. He's got elite agility, but it's just kind of, he's just fallen. He's fallen. And maybe, I don't know, maybe people are looking at him, kind of like, Army, can he do it? And maybe, he did great during the season. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on Andre Carter? Because he went from potentially being, early second to really dropping. What are your thoughts?
This, to me, from the beginning, I had him as a day 3 guy, around 4 to 7. I never really, I understand the massive wingspan, massive frame, just giant human being. But if you put on the tape, he is so raw. There's so much work that needs to go into it. I think he's somebody that could turn into a very solid pass rusher, and I would put him on the edge. I wouldn't put him. I'd put him with his hand in the dirt as a 4-3 defensive end, or that 3-4 outside linebacker, kind of like Devon Miller, that's just strictly pass rush. But there's too much work for me to take him earlier than round 4.
Yep, because he's not going to be a plug and play.